Hi guys, I'm back again today with the last part of Salman Al-Farsi part or journey. I'm not sure, but I think this is the last part. But anyways, subscribe, click the bell button. Let's see what happens.
I know time is up, but just give me 3 or 4 hadith, inshallah. Salman al-Farsi has around 30 hadith. We're not going to go do all of them. It's not that much, but I just wanted to go over some of the hadith of Salman al-Farsi from, again, as you know, I'm doing Musnad Imam Ahmad, and he has from 23,701
Wow.
all the way to 23,753. So how much is that? So around 50 hadith, but with repetition. So maybe 20, 25 without repetition. So Salman al-Farsi's hadith, of them, very quickly. Salman al-Farsi narrated that the Prophet ﷺ would accept gifts and he would not accept sadaqah. We expect Salman to narrate this hadith. Okay? He would accept gifts, but he would not accept sadaqah. A man came to Salman al-Farsi and he said, mockingly, I see that your master, meaning the Prophet ﷺ, teaches you everything, so much so that he even teaches you how to go to the bathroom. Salman said, yes, indeed, even if you find it funny. Yes, indeed, even if you find it funny, he teaches us how to use the restroom. And he tells us not to face the qibla. And he tells us not to wipe with the right hand. And he tells us to avoid dung and whatnot, and that we wipe ourselves at least 3 times. So this is one of those hadith that actually is used in the books of fiqh to how to do istinja and how to do tahara and whatnot. This is one of the most famous hadith narrated by Salman, which is used in the books of fiqh, and it shows us his level of iman. That I don't care, you can make fun of me, and honestly it is ironic that people are going to make fun of us for restroom etiquette when they're the people who don't even wash themselves or wipe themselves in the restroom, right? I'm sorry, you have no right to make fun of our bathroom etiquettes when you guys don't even wash yourselves. So Salman saying, yes, even if you make fun of it, yes, he has taught us to cleanse ourselves properly. Salman al-Farsi, Abu Uthman says, I was with Salman al-Farsi under a tree, and he held on to a dried branch, and he shook the branch until the tree's leaves fell. And he said, will you ask me why I did this? So I said, why did you do this? He said, the same thing happened. I was with the Prophet, and he held on to a tree. He shook it until its leaves fell. He asked me, oh Salman, won't you ask me why I did it? I said, Ya Rasulullah, why did you do it? So the Prophet said, when a Muslim perfects his wudu and prays the 5 prayers, then all of his sins fall off him like these leaves fell off of this tree. Then he recited, وَأَقِمِ الصَّلَاةَ طَرَفَيَ النَّهَارِ وَزُلَفًا مِنَ اللَّيْلِ إِنَّ الْحَسَنَاتِ يُذْهِبْنَ السَّيِّئَاتِ ذَلِكَ لِلذِّكْرَى لِلذَّاكِرِينَ. This is Surah Hud, verse 1, word 4. Famous hadith narrated by Salman al-Farisi. Hassan al-Basri narrated, when Salman was about to die, he began to cry. And he said, the Prophet ﷺ promised us to do something, and we neglected that promise. He promised us, or he told us, that we should only take enough of this world like a traveler who's traveling through his destination, and we didn't live up to that. So the narrator says, we looked around at how much he left, and it was less than 30 dirhams when he died. Less than 30 dirhams. And remember, he purchased his own freedom for 40 uqiyya, which is more than that. He purchased his own freedom for more. He dies with less than what he purchased his own freedom for. And yet he's feeling guilty that I didn't live up to the command of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Salman al-Farsi narrated that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that Allah is shy when his servants raise his hand up to him asking for good, that he lowers them back with those hands being empty. It's a famous hadith that raise your hands up when you're making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let me just finish up a few more. I'm going to skip over a few. Okay, this is the one I wanted to say, that Abu al-Bakhtari, one of the tabi'un, says that when Salman was at a particular fortress, meaning in Persia, he said to his people, allow me to go talk to them. and to follow the command of the Prophet ﷺ. So he went to them. This is him going to the Persians. And it's very concise, that's all we know. He went to them and he said, إِنَّمَا كُنْتُ رَجُلًا مِنْكُمْ فَهَدَانِ اللَّهُ لِلْإِسْلَامِ. I was one of you, and Allah guided me to Islam. So if you accept Islam, then you will be just like us and just like me. And if you reject, then you're allowed to give the jizya and you can be who you are. And if you reject even that, then we will fight you on equal terms. Okay? And they rejected except to fight, and he gave them 3 days to consider, and every day he would go to them. Then when they refused, he then fought, and then he achieved victory over them. We've already done the hadith of planting 300. It's in Musnad Imam Ahmad that the Prophet planted 300. Okay, I wanted to do a very controversial hadith, which is slightly weak, but you need to know it exists. It is a weak hadith, and therefore it has caused quite a lot of controversy in the past, and it still does in the present. Salman said, it's weak because it's a missing link in it. So it's a significant missing link. We don't have the full isnad. Salman said, the Prophet ﷺ said to me, O Salman, do not hate me, or else you will leave my religion. Salman said, Ya Rasulullah, how could I possibly hate you when Allah guided us through you? The Prophet ﷺ said, if you were to hate the Arab, you would hate me. This is a very, very deep hadith that has proven to be problematic in the past and in the present. If you were to hate the Arab, تُبْغِضُ الْعَرَبَ فَتُبْغِضُنِي. Okay? Now, many scholars say this hadith is close to even being fabricated, because it seems to be very convenient because there was historically and in 2018, the Arabs and the Persians have had massive differences. Okay, looks like history hasn't changed as we look at it now. That there were many tensions between the Arab and the Furs, and this hadith is very convenient at the time. So some scholars even say this is fabricated. Most say it is just very weak. And it's clear, it's definitely not authentic. But it is in Musnad Imam Ahmad. And not just that, but there's a version even in Tirmidhi, which is one of the 6 books. So its hadith is there. And it is a well-known hadith. And many scholars, Ibn Taymiyyah, considered the concept to be totally authentic. Ibn Taymiyyah was not an Arab. And he said loving the Arab is a sign of Iman. He actually said this, believe it or not. By the way, Arabs in the audience, he doesn't mean you guys. Why? No, I'm being dead serious here. Why? Well, some of you Arabs, not all of you. Who are the Arab? So which Arab is in the hadith? Yes, the original Arab. Not the Musta'arib people after the conquest of Islam. Okay? This not because the Arabs of our times, by and large, the most of them, they're ethnically other peoples who have accepted Arabic language, Arabic civilization, Arabic culture, and so they are called Arab. No problem. But if this hadith is authentic, and it's not quite authentic, but even if the concept is authentic, then this is talking about the Banu Adnan and the Banu Qahtan. Okay? That's what it's talking about. The Arab of the time of the Prophet ﷺ, the people of that. And Ibn Taymiyyah said that the fact that Allah chose the Prophet ﷺ to be from the children of Ismail and to be from the children of Adnan and the children of Quraysh and whatnot, it is an indication that to love him is to love his people. And so yes, in that sense, we have to love the Arab. Not that the Arabs are better than anybody else, because that's against Islam. Right? But just to love the Prophet ﷺ as a love to Rasulullah ﷺ, we love the people of Rasulullah. Right? And so he actually defended this hadith as being the concept being authentic. Okay? And Ibn Taymiyyah's interpretation is interesting, and I don't have a problem with it. Nonetheless, you can understand how easily it becomes ethnic and semi-racist and whatnot. So I just wanted to tell you this hadith is there, and it is a famous...
But when I hear it, it doesn't sound racist or ethnic or any of those. It sounds more to me like don't be xenophobic. Basically, maybe they didn't have the term back then, so it wasn't translated properly. But I feel like it's that, like, when you just it's like Arab, yeah, like you just don't like a certain culture, people, religion, right? So it's kind of like, if you don't like me, I mean, if you like, what was the term again? If you love me, then you should love all the Arabs. Yeah, because it's like, they're my people. So I don't know how to put it. Maybe I just lost everything, but whatever he said, I think that's the better explanation. But I was trying to just explain how I heard it or saw it in my own eye, but that explanation that didn't want to come out. Basically, how I understood it my own way is, um just don't be racist, basically, right? Oh, yeah.
Ethnic and semi-racist and whatnot. So I just wanted to tell you this hadith is there, and it is a famous hadith, and it is the process I'm telling Salman that if you hate the Arabs, you will end up hating me. And
If you
it has
hate
caused a lot.
the Arabs, you will end up eating. Yeah, xenophobic. Because if you start hating somebody because of, like, let's say a group of people, let's say, oh, I hate blacks, or I hate Arabs, or I don't like Asian, right? It's like a xenophobic view. And if you're gonna hate someone's people, and let's say I am from, let's say, I mean I am, so if you're gonna say, oh, I hate Asians, but then I like Rookie, no, it cannot be, because I'm Asian also. Oh, I hate Africans, no, you cannot like me then, because I am also African. So that's the where I understood it.
That if you hate the Arabs, you will end up hating me.
You will end up
And
hating me.
it has caused a lot of discussion amongst fuqaha and
It's
muhaddithin and
true.
whatnot, which
Because
is
you're
just
gonna
where it
have like,
exists. And
oh, I don't know why I keep pausing. Because you're gonna have like that hatred towards that group of people. And then even if we're super close, like, oh, I always watch Rookie, we're friends, we hang out. And then just because of that, your hatred towards a certain group of people, and then you find out I am part of those group, you will start pushing yourself away, right? Even if we, like, let's say, grew up together, we are best friends, but then you just have that hate towards that group of people, and you find out I am part of them, you're gonna be like, yeah, never mind.
that will, inshallah ta'ala, conclude today's halaqah. Any quick questions about this issue? Bismillah, yes.
I can't hear.
It does not appear that Salman ever married.
Oh.
It does not appear that he ever married or had children. It does not has been narrated that he ever married, and Allah knows best. All the books that I read, it seems to indicate that he did not get married or have children. And this would make sense because he lived his entire life as a monk and a slave. As a monk, he would not be allowed to get married. As a young man, he would not be allowed to. Then he became a slave. Then by the time he converts, he's somewhat of an elderly man, and he's living such a simple life. The fact that when he is appointed the governor, he doesn't even have a house. For many weeks or months, he's living literally under a tree. He would go to a tree and lie down. Indicates he has no family at all. So it doesn't appear that he ever got married, and Allah knows best. Okay. Yes, go ahead. The freed slaves might come under, but not so the ones who were freed as an act of sadaqah, they might come under. And Salman, because the Prophet ﷺ helped him to become freed, because he himself planted the seeds and he himself encouraged and whatnot, so this gives Salman that status as well. Okay, yes. Are they still around? That's a good question. Are the 300 still around? I have no doubt that that land would still be blessed in its palm trees, but in all likelihood, those exact ones, because palm trees don't last for thousands and thousands of years, and baraka means it's going to be extended, but not to the day of judgment. No, we do not know. We do not know. Okay, final question. Bismillah, go ahead. You ask a very controversial question.
What is it? I can't hear.
It's an Arabic question, so that he's leaving it to me to be controversial and he gets out of it. Okay? Why is Salman Al-Farsi considered holy by the Duruz?
What's Duruz?
The Duruz tribe, the Duruz sect. Okay? The Duruz actually believe that Salman was the batin, the one who was chosen above the Prophet ﷺ, and the Prophet ﷺ was the zahir, or the outer, the kernel, the shell. So he becomes secondary and Salman becomes primary. They flip it around. Okay? And Salman Al-Farsi takes on the role of essentially a god figure. And the Prophet becomes the bab to the god. He becomes like a door, like the one who's calling. And the Duruz, of course, their beliefs, by unanimous consensus, they are not. In fact, they don't even call themselves Muslims. They call themselves muwahidun. They don't call themselves Muslims. And there is no salah amongst them. There is no zakah amongst them. There is no Jumu'ah. They worship on Sundays.
Oh.
And their worship ceremony consists of drinking bits of alcohol like the Catholics do.
So what
The
are they?
Duruz,
Like a
well known.
mixture of all
So the
religion?
Duruz do not have any of the sha'air of Islam at all. They don't have ghusl.
So it's like they're Christians, but they believe in the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. And maybe they don't believe that Jesus is God. So that could be like the similarities that they have, and then also the difference is they practice Christianity, but their belief is Islamic. I don't know, but they don't practice Islam. They practice Christian. I think that's how it's sounding to me.
And salah and zakah and hajj, nothing whatsoever. And that is why the Duruz these days are in the IDF.
What's
One of the
IDF?
main jobs of the Duruz, you should know this. One of the main jobs of the Duruz, they are a special segment of the Israeli Defense Force, and the Israelis love the Duruz. They love them. The Duruz have a special status, and they use the Duruz to say, we love all Arabs. Look, the Duruz are Arab. Okay? So the Israelis love the Duruz and they use them as token figures, as this. Now the theology of the Duruz is something that is just only recently being studied, because the Duruz are perhaps the most secretive group of the Muslim Ummah.
I mean, I've never heard
Much
of them
more
until
secretive
today.
than the Ismailis. Well, when I say Ismailis, I mean Aga Khanis and Bohra.
Now that he's talking about all this, I'm like, where of this sect been? I didn't know this existed. I thought we only had two, and now there's more.
Ismailis are four groups, they say. 4 groups are left of the Ismailis. You got me in my specialty, man. I mean, I'm just gonna go on and on. This is my area of expertise. Dr. Bashar, did you attend the Shia class that we gave in Ilm Summit, right? Yeah, so I spent 10 days having a
about this.
detailed class of every firqa of the Shia and every ta'if and every group, and it was very nice to do, but that's not. But I can't do it over here because it's not appropriate to do. But there are 4 groups of the Ismailiyah. You have the mainstream 7er Ismailiyah, and there are 2 groups: the Aga Khanis and the Bohra. Okay, the Aga Khani and the Bohra are sister groups, and they are by and large not in Arab lands. They are in India and Pakistan. Then in Arab lands you have 2 groups. The major one is the Duruz, okay, and then you have the Alawiyya / Nusayriyya. And the Alawiyya / Nusayriyya, in reality, they should not be categorized really as Ismaili. In reality, they are a breakaway of the Ithna Ashariyya, who have been influenced by the Ismaili. So it's even more technical and advanced. So, however, the Nusayri and the Alawi, their aqa'id have been studied in quite a lot of detail in the last 20 years. The Duruz to this day we do not have their source books.
Oh.
To this day, their source books are just little tidbits and remnants. Why? Because there is the highest level of secrecy amongst the durus. And in fact, their own peoples are uneducated about their faith. They have a system there in which around 80 to 90% of their own people, they're called the awam, the juhal, okay? They are expected to know nothing of the faith. They know nothing of their religion. Then there is maybe 10% or 15%, one out of every 10 person, was chosen by the community to basically become a leader. And that leader is called, what are they called? Intelligent people, the uqqal, okay? The people of intelligence, the uqqal. And it is the uqqal who basically study in their seminaries, or there's only one or two. Because another point is they're so small, as you know. There's only one place they live. That's it. Literally, they only live in one place in the whole world, and then they go from there. So the duruz are a breakaway of the Fatimids, and they deify Al-Hakim bi Amrillah, who is one of the Fatimid Khulafa, who was called the madman, because he really was a madman. He was a little bit crazy. Not a little bit, he was totally crazy. He would give the most bizarre verdicts for the people to follow. Sometimes he would be walking without any clothes in public. This is the Khalifa. Imagine that. I mean, he was mental. And he founded his own aqeedah and whatnot, and the people continue to follow it until this day. And they're basically the duruz. They consider Al-Hakim bi Amrillah to be the final manifestation of God on earth. And they have a weird theology. And of their theology, Allah came down in the form of Salman Al-Farsi. And the Prophet was the door to Salman. So you understand right there, I mean, it's just complete. So whatever we know about them, there is no question that they are a faith that has nothing to do with Islam. And they don't consider themselves Muslim. And they don't come to our masajid. They don't even have masajid per se. And if you meet any durzi, he himself is ignorant of his own religion. Unless he's of the uqqal, and the uqqal don't mix with the people. The uqqal they dress differently, they have the big mustaches and the caps and whatnot, right? They don't mix with the people. Their job is just to preserve the faith, and the ignorant, the awam, go to the uqqal for their services, and that's it. There's no knowledge that the people have. So anyway, if you want a longer halaqah, believe me, but I don't want to bore the people, inshallah ta'ala.
Actually, that's an interesting
one. And I'll see you,
one.
inshallah, next week. Bi'idhnillahi ta'ala.
Wow. Okay. We learned a lot this last part as well. So that's wow. Okay, I didn't know about the other. It's not even. Yeah, like you said, they don't call themselves Muslims, so it's not necessarily like part of it. It's their own group, their own religion that they created. So yeah, that's very interesting to know, and we finally know the life of Salman. And we finally know the meaning of Sahaba. Okay, so this journey has really taught us a lot of things as well. Well, thank you guys for joining, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.